So this will. So now there. Look at that. There goes my HP. See the current display? It was doing this before. What is that about? It's jumping all over the place. Howdy. Today we're going to take a look at this power supply. I have a previous video on this. I changed out the new binding posts. I've since updated a capacitor in the power supply section. I didn't video that one, just a quick change. But since then, it's starting to act weird. The display for the current just starts bouncing all over the place, even with nothing connected. Voltage seems rock solid. And I believe it's related to something getting warm, or it happens as it gets warmer. So, I just turned it on. It's still nice and cool. But as something heats up, you'll see this start to jump around. And it's really weird. I don't really understand why. So we'll let it sit for a second and see if it does it. There we go. See? Look at that. It's all over the place. Nothing's connected. 9 amps starts to blank out. Excuse me. So that's not great. Current's about as low as it can go. That's banged left. Just all over the place. I think I'm onto something here. This display board has a connector with some wires that go to a plug on the main board. You can see it's jumping around. Now watch, if I pull this out, this whole panel out just a quarter of an inch, it stops. Push it back. There it goes again. Pull it out. Back. How about that? I bet you I have some bad solder joints. Out again. So now I have to figure out where. I looked at the back of this, and the plug solders, 1, 2, 3, 12, 9 wires. They look okay. I'll touch them up anyway, but let's see if I just wiggle this. If I hold this, yep, if I push that plug back, we're fine. If I pull it toward myself, it gets wonky. Back. Forward. That's wild. Okay. So, time to touch up those solder joints. So here's the back side of that connector. The jack with the plug that goes up to the front panel. This last terminal here looks a little wonky. Maybe the second to last one, there's 10 here. I'm just going to, power's off of course, I'm just going to desolder all these and resolder them just for posterity. Maybe we'll get lucky here. Let's do another cleaning here. That looks pretty good. I don't see any bridges. The rest of these look okay. Let's give that a shot. So, where was I? Plug this bad boy in. Let's back up just a bit here. Power, input power on, and power on that. And like I said, it takes could take a few minutes if it cooled down, but now I don't think it's a heat thing. Let's just wiggle this connector here. That seems better. Oh, maybe not. Nope, that didn't do it. Maybe it's this. Maybe it's this side. The plug. It was one or the other, right? It's the plug on the main board or the plug on the display board. And I think it might be the plug on the display board. Which, if there's bad solder joints there, makes sense. The heat would be a problem, right? As they heat up, it expands. You lose good contact. Oh, yeah. So now instead of going back and forth on the plug that's on this board, the plug on this board faces this way. I'm going up and down. So up, pulling on it up. Oh, yeah. Pushing it down. Yep. Pull it up. Push it down. Yep. So I'm going to take out this board, which hopefully isn't too difficult. Famous last words. So we've got the board out. Here's the front. It's actually not too bad. Just one plastic clip, which I was nervous about. Those always make me nervous. Here's the back. So here's where that plug comes in. These look a little dirty. This is the LED 7-segment displays. But here's the front. Here's the other side of that plug. And it looks okay. This one's a little gunky. I don't know. This solder joint's not great, but all that is, unfortunately, is just a test point there. That's test point 2. Maybe a little gunk up in the corner there, but there's not really anything there. Most of these look okay. Now I'll touch these up anyway, of course. On the back, there's your E3610. Again, I think it's maybe just flux on the back of these segments, 7 segments, excuse me. But none of them look terrible. Actually, no, this one does. DS6 right there. You can see that. That's missing half the socket. It doesn't have solder on it. Same with this one here, DS1. Of course, what side is that? That's the wrong side anyway. That's the voltage side. So I need, this is the side that's acting wonky. So yeah, DS6 maybe. Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to clean all these up anyway. Some alcohol. And just reflow them with an iron. Nice and careful. I'll redo all these 10 here. You know, clean up the board. And maybe that'll do it. Here's the after. There's your 10 pins right there. That 10th pin, or the one on the far right, is certainly looking better. I touched up every solder joint I could here, and then on the back, we've got our 7 segment displays. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Some of these were not looking great. I touched up every single one. I got a brush, wiped all this down with isopropyl. Touched up these 2 or 4 points here, just anywhere I could. So that's about as good as I can do it, I think. Yeah, I think it's gonna have to do it. So I'll get this back in, plugged in, and we'll see. A quick tip here, something else you want to check before you plug this back in is make sure none of these pins are recessed, right? So it's hard to see here, but you can see the metal contacts in there, and they should all be about the same height and pretty close to the top. And you can just give these a quick tug because they do have locking tabs, but those can wear out, they can break. And the worst case is where it looks good on the top and then you plug it in, and as you're plugging it in, the pin recesses on you and you don't know, and you pull it out, and yeah, you can spend a day trying to figure that out. But these all seem solid, they're all locked, so I'm going to plug this in here. And it is keyed here. We've got 2 keys there. So we'll plug this in. Do some more wiggling here. That seems more solid. I mean, clearly the behavior's better. It's still a little, maybe a little jumpy, but not nearly what it was. I was seeing, what, 9 amps, blanking. So that seems okay. You know, I also want to check. I'll do that. Oh, here we go. What are you doing, buddy? Look at that. 0.15, 0. 0.15, 0. Am I pushing a button when I do that, maybe? Am I a big dummy? Yeah, I think I'm a big dummy. This is the control, the CC set. So I think when I'm moving this, right, I'm setting the current, and I can adjust this. Okay, so that explains that. Oh boy. If I release, back to 0. But that's okay. This is still better. And I've still fixed the default, I believe. So I can wiggle this around. And she's a solid, steady 0, 0, 0. That's good. There she is, back in her usual spot. All back together. Display seems solid. The amps reading has not moved at all. It's been on for a few minutes, so it's as warm as it's going to get. Voltage is nice and smooth. Nice, good action. And the current set seems to work, so we can hold that. We can tweak our current up. So we have 0 to 8 volts is 3 amps, or 0 to 15 volt range is 2 amps. So that's nice and smooth. 2 amps. And go up, and it'll go over 2 slightly. That's banged right. Or we can go 3 amps, and it'll go over 3, just a bit. But nice smooth action. Nice steady display. I think she's good. So that was a nice quick one, hopefully. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. And I will see you in the next one.